Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing on today? I am super duper excited. First of all, I still feel like I can say hot off the press. The filling station is live and in color, and it is breaking records. I'm gonna tell you, this is a book to tell everybody, tell a friend to tell a friend to get your hands on a copy. And we have been so blessed to be able to talk with USA Today best-selling author Vanessa Miller about her new release, The Filling Station. And of course, guys, you already know what to do. And like, tag, and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend to come on down to the cafe because we're hanging out with Vanessa Miller. Vanessa Miller, my friend. Oh my goodness. You see, I'm excited. I'm smiling. I can't stop smiling.
One quick thing. One quick thing though. I just tried to share it off of your Facebook page and I don't see it there. Did
Okay,
it go?
I'll make sure I share. I'll share it to you as well, guys. Also, share, so we can make sure that we get the word out that we are hanging out with Vanessa Miller on today. And so, Vanessa, before we get into this amazing story, my friend, please introduce yourself to the people.
Hello, everyone. I'm Vanessa Miller. I am an author. I'm a mother. I am a wife. I am a Christian. I am a grandmother. All of those things kind of incorporate who I am.
I love that. I love that. Oh my goodness. Vanessa, let me just tell you, this is definitely a book that I can, and I do, when I say these words, I do not say them lightly. This is definitely an highly anticipated read. And the reason that I'm saying that is because I even remember receiving a net galley art. So I had an e-galley art. That was before I even got the print copy galley or the print copy art of this book. And when I started reading this book, I know I was only like a couple of chapters in, and I was like, this is a 10. I was like, this is a 10. I was like, oh my goodness, everybody got to read this book. And so, of course, when it's in this arc form, it's like, I just want to talk to everybody. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to be patient and wait. So that's one of the reasons I want you to know that this is definitely, guys, if you're watching, the filling station, it is worth every bit of the hype. And I'm not just saying that because Vanessa is on our show, but this is one of those reads that's highly anticipated that when you read it, you're going to want a buddy read. So book clubs, all of the above, you're going to want to read this book and talk to somebody. Okay. But Vanessa, I want to ask you this, my friend, and it is a USA Today a bestseller. Did you have any idea that this would be the one? This would be the one.
I absolutely did not. I didn't even check the USA Today bestseller list on that Wednesday of the week after it released because I just didn't think it would happen. I had missed 2 events that week because one, I scheduled my flight wrong. And so I was stuck in Maryland and could not get to Greenville when I was supposed to be at M. Judson. So we had to reschedule. I just went there this week because I couldn't get there. And then I had to reschedule, with you on that Sunday for page 158 because it was bad storm. So I was just like, okay, well, we tried. And so it totally shocked me that this was the book that made USA Today. But then I get it because the book, and I'd already been saying it, was that this is a very important book because it's really about resilience, and it's about never giving up, never losing hope, even in the face of, people seeming to be hopeless. And so God is good because I believe the people got it. The bookstore owners got it, and they, were able to get the book in. And, a lot of these indie bookstores, if they love a book, they begin to hand sell it. And that's what you need. And so I believe they were telling people, hey, you need the filling station.
Yes.
I'm very grateful for that.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And guys, if you're just joining us, we're hanging out with author Vanessa Miller. And let me just tell you, It's a good one. It is a good one. I can talk about this book all day long, but guess what? We have Vanessa Miller here today to talk to us about it. And so, Vanessa, I want to ask you this because there is so much that went into this book, and your
Mhm.
research was superb. And we're going to talk about your research as well. But for those who may not know, or what have you, can you share just a little bit of what inspired the filling station, and for you to say, you know what, I have to write this story?
Well, so what ended up happening was I took Lisa Wingate to breakfast when we were in San Antonio, Texas, just to kind of thank her for, all she did with the American Queen. And she had just watched Discovery Channel because she is a big Discovery Channel person. And there was a documentary on there about the Threet filling station. I'd never heard of them. And so she was like, you might want to do some research on them because they're now a historical site. And so when I began to do some research on them, and I saw that, they actually, well, people who were escaping the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, some of them ran to this filling station, this farm that they had for a safe haven. And so it was my aha moment of researching, and I knew that I could bring in the Threet filling station and bring in the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. So I felt like I could tell the story a little differently. And so that's when I knew I was going to write it. And so the Threet filling station, though, the importance of it is, hey, Pamela, the importance of it is that, this safe haven, this idea of a safe haven when you've lost everything. And so that was why it's so important to us that we called it the filling station instead of calling it Greenwood.
Mhm, mhm. And look, and you tapped in something just a little bit, so we gonna go with it. You
Mhm.
talked about the title, the filling station, and for some people they may not know, it's kind of a dual meaning
Yeah,
for this title. So can you go into that just a little bit more about the title, the filling
absolutely.
station? And Vanessa, I need you to spill some tea for the people. Was that the original working title?
It actually was the original working title.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So when we sent the information in on it, we did call it the filling station, and because of the fact that we felt like it was nostalgic, old world, because we don't call them filling stations today. We just
Mhm.
it's the gas station, and so it does have a dual meaning as far as people pulling up to a filling station to get gas for their car, and they fill up their car. But there's also a refilling of the soul when things have happened and you have basically been emptied. How do you refuel your soul? And so
Mhm.
that's kind of discussed in the filling station.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing the dual meaning of this particular title. Now, Vanessa, we're gonna get into it just a little bit, my friend, and of course, feel free to spill as much tea as you want to share. But for you, we're going to talk about the characters just a little bit. And of course,
Mhm.
it started with a gentleman by the name of O.W. Gurley. Can you
Yes.
take us back
Yes.
to where it started with him before Greenwood was Greenwood?
Absolutely. So O.W. Gurley, he comes to this area and he wants to buy. I didn't think of that feeling. Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. Two meanings. And
Mhm.
so he wants to buy this land that is considered good for nothing because it's not an oil rich land, and Tulsa was
Mhm.
this oil rich place, and so this land didn't have oil on it, so they were willing to sell it to a black man, in the early 1900s. So he buys 40 acres of land, and he has this idea of bringing in other people that look like him, and he wants to build businesses and homes in this area, and for them, it's for it to be like a community type of place. And so what ends up happening is JB Stratford comes and he buys in on this idea as well. And so he becomes like the money man, and he he loans money to people who were wanting to start a business. So they begin to start businesses in Greenwood. People bring their families, they build their homes there. And they do all of this. It becomes about 12,000 people in only about 40 acres of land. And the way
Wow.
they were able to do that is because they would build homes that were like 3 levels. And
Mhm.
so they would live on one level of the home, and the other 2 levels would be businesses.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. I love that. Guys, if you're just joining us, we are hanging out with the one and only award-winning author, Vanessa Miller, and we're talking about her latest release. Guys, let me just tell you, it is The Filling Station. And guess what? Hold tight, because we will be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy of this book that's available in all formats. So you don't even have an excuse. Audiobook, ebook, print. And guess what? You can even order a hardback cover of this book as
Mhm.
well, The Filling Station. So, of course, guys, if you have a question or two for Vanessa, put that in the comment section as well. We like to be interactive here at the cafe. But again, we're hanging out with Vanessa talking about her latest release, The Filling Station. Now, Vanessa, I want to ask you this. We're going to go into the characters a little bit, but again, there are these individuals there. OW Girl, he buys this land. You have other individuals that are prominent in the community. You talked a little bit about JB
Mhm.
Stratford. Tell us a little bit about what was community like for these people of Greenwood, because that's a prominent place. And you also, guys, once you read it, you will see how important community was for these people to actually rebuild. But what was community like for the Greenwood before the massacre?
Well, I think it was just, people, in the olden times, we had things like, people would check on each other, their neighbors. We don't do that much at all these days. But, it was, really considered like being neighborly. And,
Mhm.
walking down the street, you speak to people because you know them. Your child went to school with their kids and things like that. But also, I just believe that it was just a place where they wanted to build community, and not just community, but a place where they could prosper. And Booker T. Washington, he was the one who dubbed this place Negro Wall Street. Today we understand the term as Black Wall Street.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
it was because, and so not just community, but they also there were people who would come from all over other states and everything, because they just wanted to experience
Yeah,
Greenwood.
yeah.
They wanted to experience this thing of, this, not just homes, but these businesses, because they had some good things going on. JB Stratford, he owned Stratford Hotel, and it was one of the best hotels in Oklahoma. Uh, Lola Williamson, she owned Dreamland Theater, and it was a 750 seater theater back in the early 1900s. And people would come from all over just to go to Dreamland for they would have reviews there, they would have movies there, the silent movies and things like that. And it was just, they just had so much going on in this community.
Mhm, mhm. Thank you for sharing that. And Vanessa, we're gonna get into the goods of the book as well. But before we do that, I'm kind of trying to paint a picture for the people and give them like a setup
Mhm.
of what Greenwood was like before this particular happened. And I
Yes.
love how you told or you tell the story, like you broke it down into parts. And
Mhm.
even when you broke it down into parts, there is this story that is intertwined intertwined. There's like an entanglement with these two sisters, Margaret and Evelyn Justice.
Mhm.
I love their last name, by the way. And
Mhm.
so, before you tell us a little bit about their characters, can you tell us the meaning of their last name, Justice, and
Yeah.
why you use that?
Yeah, it was important for me to use the name Justice because I truly believe that the residents of Greenwood never received justice for what
Mhm,
was done to them. And so I wanted, as people were reading the story, every time they saw the name Justice, it
mm.
reminds them of, that there should be justice for things like this.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
And
So,
Vanessa, before we get into some of the characters too, I want to ask you this question because it's one of the things that when I first read the book, it stood out to me.
mhm.
And so there is this thing that's called the Red Cross Disaster Relief Report. Oh my goodness.
Mhm. I used to have
And
it on my desk. It's over there.
you were able to utilize information from that. And so not only were you able to utilize the Red Cross disaster relief report, but there were also things that you found, and I'm sure this was through your research too. There were quotes from some of the survivors, or there were quotes and things that
Mhm.
will like showed what was happening during that time. And you did such a great job that at the beginning of each chapter there is either a quote, there's something
Mm.
from that release report, all of that good stuff. Tell us a little bit about what that was like and why it was
Yeah.
important for you to start each chapter with that.
Yeah. So, the survivor reports that are at the beginning, I actually read those when I went to Greenwood Cultural Center.
Mm,
And if you go there, there's a room where they have the testimonies of the survivors on the wall. They'll have their picture and then a statement by each one of them. And so as I was reading those, I recognized just how important this was, because this is the actual person just giving a little account of how they were feeling when this was going on. And so I asked for permission to be able to use those as an epigraph at the beginning of each chapter. But when I read the Red Cross Relief Report, actually when I found it, I thought, oh, this is wonderful. I found the Red Cross Relief Report. This is going to be great. And it actually ended up just disturbing me. It made me angry
mm,
because of some of the comments that was in that report. Um, such as they readily admit that they said, in any other disaster such as this, we have always given loans or money to the survivors. They said,
mm.
but this is the only case we did not do that.
Wow.
And I believe they didn't do it because Greenwood had been a prosperous place.
Hmm,
And
hmm.
they felt like, well, if we give them loans or money, they'll be prosperous again. And
Hmm.
they couldn't have that. But the beauty of Greenwood was that they did it anyway.
Did it
They
anyway.
became more prosperous after the massacre than they were before, even without the help that they should have received. And so, because the Red Cross Relief Report made me so angry, I sat at my desk one day and I realized, you know what, this report was written over 100 years ago. And after 100 years, there's no copyright. And so
Oh.
I said, you know what? I can let everybody know exactly what they were saying. So those went at the beginning of the chapter, and it was because to me it is a cautionary tale, and it
Hmm,
is, I want people to read those and to understand how wrong it was, to
hmm.
how to think like that about a group of people, who did everything to prove you wrong with what you thought. But I believe sometimes, in this nation or whatever nations, if they have this stereotype of a person, no matter how you prove them wrong, they continue to live with that. And so they knew that this had been a prosperous area. but they still stated that Black people are a servant class of people.
Mm.
So they will work for whatever relief they receive.
Mhm.
And so it was them, I believe, trying to put the people of Greenwood back in the place they thought they should be.
Wow. Wow. Guys, if you are just joining us, we are in for a treat here at the cafe. Vanessa is dropping jewels. She is dropping and spilling tea, all of that good stuff about her new book, The Filling Station, which is based on true historical events that happened. And so, Vanessa, before we kind of get into some of the characters of this book, I
Mhm.
want for you to share, and you have just a little bit, but if you can kind of delve in just a little bit more, can you share with the people what was your research like for this book? Because it sounds like it was extensive and it definitely came
Expensive.
across in the book. Well done, my friend.
Yes. So I read nonfiction accounts of what happened in Greenwood. Um, Thank you, Myra. I hope you enjoy it when you get a chance to read it. And so I also, as I told you, found this Red Cross relief report. It was so I read through it, and thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I went to Greenwood to because I'm very visual. And
Mhm.
so walking the streets, so I didn't understand, even though I knew that it was only 40 acres that O.W. Gurley purchased, I still, because there was so many people that lived there, I didn't understand how this was possible until when I walked the streets and then I saw they have short blocks.
Mm.
And so this is how they were able to get so much. Everything was compacted in there, and they were able to get so much within in all of this area, because it was they had a lot of people that lived in this area. And so I was able to walk the streets. I was able to see some of the churches that are historic sites now that
Wow.
were there, and they are still in Greenwood. And then I was able to see, the Greenwood Cultural Center, and then there's another Greenwood Museum. And going through those, it really helped kind of center my story. And
Mm.
so, yeah, there's a lot of research that went into, I normally spend several months just digging into the research before I can even begin the book, because I have to get my footing. I have to
Mhm.
understand what happened before I can even begin to write the story. So yeah, a lot of
Wow.
a
Thank
lot of
you for
research.
sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. And Vanessa, this again, The Filling Station is one of those historical fiction books that, I will go on record saying that it is historical fiction at its finest. It really
Thank
is.
you.
You told that story because when you think about it, the Tulsa massacre, um, that's a hard read. Think about that's a hard read, but you
Mhm.
had an excellent balance.
Mhm.
Again, with telling it from the story, the point of view of these two sisters, and weaving that in. That again, it made it an easy pill to swallow, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. Now there are some moments where you are pulling at your heartstrings, where you
Yes.
are like, oh my goodness, like I can't believe this happened. Like where is their help? No,
Yeah.
nobody came to help them, guys.
Nobody.
Oh my goodness. So for you as a writer and as an artist, because I mean this is a
Mhm.
form of art form, for you, and after you did all of that research, how did you know what how did you know what component or how you was going to ease into the story to make it a read that people could understand, make
Right.
it a read that it wasn't so heavy where people was like, oh my goodness, I got to put this down.
Correct.
What was that like for you as the writer?
Yeah. And so I knew it would be a heavy read for the reader. So I needed to blend it. And so that's where Elijah comes in. And so I
Mm.
tell this love story with Margaret and Elijah. And I even give the story with Evie and her love connection. It's, to me, even those are things that bring in sometimes joy, sometimes pain, but it's a different type of pain than what
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
went through in Greenwood for the massacre. I'm just telling like a human type of story. And so I wanted to be able to bring all of that in and bring in
Yeah.
even points where, people would be able to smile. I know I loved Elijah too. Thank you. And so those, and also telling of the three filling station. I thought that would help people,
Mhm.
because it wasn't all in Greenwood. And so this street filling station, they had
Yeah.
the Negro League played there. He owned not only the filling station, he owned the farm, and he owned the juke joint, and he had the baseball diamond, where and information on him said he did all sorts of things to make sure he provided for his family. So being able to highlight Alan Threed and Alberta Threed was just a wonderful experience to me. So they actually had about 8 or 9 children, but during the time period
Uh-huh.
that I wrote about, I was only able to show the reader 5 of their children, but they had more than that. She kept on having kids.
Wow.
I was
Now,
like,
Vanessa,
slow
because
down.
yes, and because the three filling station was such a pivotal point for this particular story as well,
Mhm.
did you stumble upon that part of the research first, or where did that come in your research to know, you
Yeah,
know what,
yeah,
I
it was
have to
actually
include them?
Lisa Wingate told me about the three filling station because she had watched a documentary on them
Uh-huh.
on the Discovery Channel. And so I went and to do the research on I was looking at the three filling station, and also seeing that, people came from Greenwood as they were escaping the Tulsa Race Massacre. And so I knew I could blend the two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. And Vanessa, of course, my friend, time goes by so fast, but we have to
It
talk about these
does.
two sisters. You have Margaret and you have Evelyn. How would you describe them for us?
Well, Margaret, I wanted her to be the strong sister because so much of the information I was finding out about Greenwood was, about the strength of the character of the people and how they were able to rebuild after this disaster. So I wanted Margaret to represent that. But I also knew that there were many people who dealt with post-traumatic stress, even though that was not a
Mhm.
term at that time. So Evie was my person who represented that. And I wanted people to understand that, sometimes, when you prick me, it does hurt. And Evie shows that, to the readers. So I was basically using them in two different ways.
I love that. I love that. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're hanging out with Vanessa Miller. Her new release, The Filling Station, as I shared, is available in ebook, audio, and print as well. So we want to let you know that. And trust me, we
Mhm.
will be sharing with you in just a little bit how you can get your hands on a copy of it. And Vanessa, they are giving you love. You also have some people that's giving you love about the audio book as
Oh my
well. And of
goodness.
course,
She was so good.
I love it. So, guys, if you don't know and you love listening to audiobooks, the Filling Station is available in audio as
Mhm.
well. And you have a lot of people that saying that the audiobook was definitely is amazing as well.
It
And
is.
so Vanessa, we have to talk about our buddy, our friend, Miss Pearly. I just went
Yes.
blank. Oh my goodness. Their
Miss
neighbor.
Pearl.
Please tell us about her character.
Oh, I knew that they needed someone to I wanted to bring in this neighbor who she's also a fictional character. There's many people that you'll meet in the book that are people who went through this ordeal. O.W. Gurley, J.B. Stratford, Lola Williamson, even the hairdresser at the beginning. She is a real person. What is her name? I'm missing it right now. Miss Mabel B. Little. And so she was in Greenwood, and so that's why I begin the book with her at her hair salon, because that is true about her. But Miss Pearl was just to represent, that one that is going to stick with you, that one that's going to try to give you a helping hand, because that's what they needed in Greenwood. So I loved Miss Pearl. I won't say everything because I don't want to spoil it for some who haven't read it.
Right. I love that. I love that. Well, Vanessa, of course, we have a giveaway. We'll be sharing with the individuals how they can get their hands on a copy. The Literary Cafe, I am sponsoring an ebook copy of the Filling Station as well. So I'm going to get you to assist me. I'm going to go up and down the comment section, my friend.
Okay.
And if you will tell me when to stop, that person will receive an ebook copy of the Filling Station.
Okay.
Okay, Vanessa, I am ready. And so whenever you tell me to stop.
Stop.
Okay. Dahlia, you are the winner on this evening, my
And
friend. If
look,
you will inbox me your information, congratulations. And she loves historical
and that's what I
fiction.
was going to say. Look,
You
she,
will
she
receive
even
an
said she
ebook
loves
copy.
historical fiction.
Yeah, she says she loves historical fiction as well. And so, Vanessa, I want for you to share this piece with our audience on today. What did you enjoy about bringing this amazing story, the Filling Station, to life, and for incorporating historical events that actually
Mhm.
happened, adding it to the fiction? What did Vanessa enjoy about this story?
This book was hard for me to write. This was one of the tougher books for me to write, and it was because I had to deal with the massacre. But what I truly enjoyed was that as I dug into the research, and most people only hear about the massacre, and that's all we know. Oh, this thing happened in 1921, but we don't hear about the fact that they rebuilt, and they rebuilt their homes, and they rebuilt their businesses, and they became more prosperous after the massacre than they
Mhm.
were before. That was what I enjoyed, was being able to write the story and let the reader see this resilience of these people. And so that's what it was all about for me. If I could just get to those good parts, I wanted people to know just how resilient they were.
And I'm glad that you said that, because that's my question I want to ask you. When you hear that word resilience and you think about the people who went through what they went through, tell us what that word means to Vanessa as it
Oh,
pertains
it
to
means
the people of
everything.
Greenwood.
Yeah, it means everything. When I'm seeing reviews, oh, and you guys write a review. I'd greatly appreciate it.
Mhm.
But when I'm seeing the word resilience, when I'm seeing the reviews, I know the people got it. Uh they got it. They understood what these people went through. They were survivors, and not just
Mhm.
survivors, they were thrivers. And so
Mhm.
yeah, I love when I smile when I see that word used in a review.
I love that. I love that. Well, Vanessa, thank you so much for joining me at the
Thank you for having
cafe.
me.
Oh my goodness, the time goes by so fast, my friend. But of course, we have to share with the people, how can they get their hands on a copy of it. And in addition to the places that Vanessa told you, there
Mhm.
it is available with Riches in Reading, one of our
Yeah.
sponsored indie bookstores. And I will be putting a link in the comment section. And if you order
Mhm.
within 24 hours of this broadcast,
Mhm.
if you order from Riches and Reading, there will be a little something special. There'll be a little swag to go with your order from Riches and Reading within the next 24 hours if you place your order. But
Right.
of course, it's available at other indie
Mhm.
bookstores as well, and it's available in ebook, audio, and print. But Vanessa, where are some other places outside of Riches and Reading that they can also get a copy of the Filling Station?
Well, I mean, it's available wherever books are sold. So any of the bookstores, they can go there. Riches and Reading is a good one. So grab your copy there. You can go to any of the online stores. Indie Bound is also good. shop local if you can. If you have an indie bookstore in your area, grab a copy from your indie
Mhm.
bookstore. That really helps. Oh yeah, indie bookstore day is this weekend. So when you go into those indie bookstores this
Yep.
weekend, grab a copy of the filling
Grab a
station.
copy of the filling
Yes,
station.
if they don't have it at that moment, they will order it for you. So make sure you keep the filling station
Yes.
in mind. Thank you so much for having me.
Look,
I really appreciate it. Oh, and on my website, which is vanessamiller.com, I have a list of indie bookstores that you can click on the link and purchase the books from them as well.
I love that. And guys, guess what? Books make great gifts. I
They
mean,
do.
Mother's Day is coming up, buy one from that, or birthdays, any of that, anything makes a good time to buy a gift, the Fill Station as well. Thank you so much, Vanessa. And please share with us how we can stay connected. You did tell them about your website, which is vanessamiller.com, but where else can they stay connected with you?
At any of the events. I have one more event this month, and I'm going to be at Bookmarks in Winston-Salem. So if you guys live anywhere near Winston-Salem, it says, is it signed copy
Well, I think is
from
she thinking
Riches
if
and
they order
Reading.
from Riches and Reading, is it signed copies?
I don't think she has any signed copies right now, but I think I'm going to be sending her some autograph plates. And so
Nameplate? Okay.
yeah, some plates. I know that there are several stores that do have autograph copies. I just left M. Judson's. I signed some copies there. I'm going to be at Bookmarks on Wednesday, April 30th, and I'm sure I'll leave some signed copies there if they have some left, because they told me that we've gotten really good RSVP. So RSVP, you guys, if you're coming to Bookmarks on April 30th, keep those RSVPs coming. I can't wait to see you guys. It's my last event really for the tour, April 30th. And then of course I'll be doing other stuff, but those are things that I have been invited to. And so, but April 30th, Bookmarks, Winston-Salem. And they can just, like you said, my website, Instagram, Facebook, author Vanessa Miller or Vanessa Miller Pierce. Those are the ways.
I love that, guys. Definitely stay connected with Vanessa. And of course, like Vanessa said earlier, leave a review. Tell a friend about this book, The Filling Station, as well. I know that she would be so appreciative. Also, if you see it out in the wild, take a picture, tag Vanessa. When you
Yeah.
receive your copy, if you've ordered it and it comes in, take a picture, tag Vanessa as well. But let's continue to get the word out and tell a friend to tell a friend about the Filling Station. And of course, Vanessa, we're going to allow you to have the last words of what you want to say to the people.
I just want to say thank you guys very much. I am very appreciative to everyone who's already purchased their book. Whatever you can do, it's always appreciated. But also just remember to keep refueling your soul. Find
Yeah.
that thing that fills you up and go after it like your life depends on it.
I love it. I love it. There you have it, boys and girls. Vanessa Miller, her new release, The Filling Station. Go out and get a copy as well. And again, Vanessa, I am so appreciative for you hanging out with us here at the cafe, spilling a little tea and telling us all about your new release, The Filling Station. And again, from us here at the cafe, congratulations on The Filling Station hitting the USA today. We are so proud of you and excited for you as well. Guys, that is our show on today. Of course, you can stay connected with me. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Angela Anderson's YouTube. And as we always say, guys, have an amazing day, because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, we'll see you later. And guess what? Go get a copy of The Filling Station. See you
Bye
later.
bye. Bye bye.